What's up guys, my name is Aaron and today I'm going to be reviewing Kindly Now. This is the third studio album by Keaton Henson. He's an English singer-songwriter. This is the first time I've heard of him. I just kind of heard this album name being thrown around here and there, so I just wanted to give it a try. But apparently this guy suffers from anxiety, and so that means that he doesn't really tour, or he doesn't really do concerts that often. I can kind of see that through the music. I think he's pretty talented at songwriting and creating that kind of dark sound, but I feel like this album is very of that one tone. I felt like it was very of that one tone, and I feel like the lyrics were a little bit overwrought at times, but I feel like it was an enjoyable album. The songs here are very downbeat and very sparse. The only real instruments on this entire album are the piano and the string instruments that kind of kick in sometimes for added emphasis. The song Alright is my favorite song on the album that kind of shows off this style. I like when the piano, the guitar, and the strings crescendo together, and it sounds really nice when all those elements kind of blend together. The song The Pugilist, I love the guitars on this. It kind of reminds me of Friday Night Lights, the show, the music that plays on that show. And The March, I feel like that's probably the most experimental and kind of different song on this entire album. I love the glitchy effects on the voice that makes it sound like his singing is like on a loop. How the guitars and the strings kick in. That song is very reminiscent of James Blake's music to me. I like that sound that James Blake makes, so any type of music like that I like. The tone is very dark and very anguished. His singing is very emotional, very vulnerable, and very soft. Again, he kind of reminds me of like a softer James Blake. He's not like as emotive of James Blake. Like James Blake kind of like belts out and stuff. He's like a very talented singer, but this guy's a little bit more vulnerable, I guess. I like the tone and the sound. It's very anguished, very sad, reminiscent of people like James Blake, Tom York of Radiohead. It kind of has that kind of minimalistic dark sound, and the lyrics kind of reflect that by what he's going through in these songs. But I do feel like it's all of that one tone and there's not a lot of variety on it. I feel like the song The March and like a couple other songs are a little bit more distinct. A lot of the songs are very dark, very minimalistic. There's not a lot of variety on this album. I feel like the lyrics on this can be very overwrought. Like they're so emotional to the point of being almost corny and kind of cliche. It kind of reminds me of Lana Del Rey. She's one of my favorite artists. Like how her lyrics are very over the top and kind of dramatic. But I feel like her music, like the music that's surrounding these lyrics, is very over the top and very dramatic. So it kind of adds to it. It kind of gives it a more cinematic feeling. When the music itself is a little bit more sparse and a little bit downbeat, like on this album, I feel like you pay more attention to the lyrics and it brings attention to the lyrics, and that's what you're really listening to. And I felt like the lyrics on this were a little bit overwrought at times. With all of that, I did enjoy the album. I felt like it was very sparse, very dark. I felt like his songwriting is really strong. Like he knows how to create like a very catchy and kind of atmospheric song. I do think that he creates really like memorable anguish melodies on this album. I feel like there wasn't enough differences in the sound. I felt like there wasn't a lot of variety on the album, and I felt like the lyrics were a little bit overwrought at times. They're so over the top, they're a little bit corny. But I did enjoy the album though. I would give it a B. To me, this album kind of sounds like if you're home alone on a rainy day or something like that. That's kind of the vibe of this album. You kind of want like a rainy day album. This is definitely something for you. So what did you guys think of the album? Did you like the album? Did you hate the album? Let me know in the comments what you thought, and thanks for watching. Thanks guys. Bye.